Okay, so Cinderella's ugly stepsisters always got a bad rap. The villains of a story that's actually pretty messed up if you think about it. But what if you flipped the script and got their side of the story? Enter the Ugly Stepsister, a twisted body horror infused retelling that's part fairy tale, part brutal reality check. And surprisingly, it doesn't fall flat like other dark fairy tale flicks. No, this one digs in deep. So grab your popcorn or maybe a barf bag, and let's dive into why this flick is the twisted Cinderella story you didn't know you needed. Elvira and Alma are stepsisters living under their mother Rebecca's iron rule. After Rebecca marries Otto, who dies right away, it turns out he's broke, and Agnes, his daughter, looks down on all of them. Rebecca decides to turn Elvira into prince material with some very painful plastic surgeries and, wait for it, she actually swallows a tapeworm egg to lose weight. This movie ain't messing around. Meanwhile, the Cinderella figure, Agnes, just naturally has the looks and charm which sends Elvira spiraling into jealousy and self-destruction. The classic glass slipper scene gets a gruesome twist when Elvira literally cuts her toes off trying to fit in. It's dark, it's brutal, but somehow also kind of poetic and sweet at the end. If you thought fairy tales were all glitter and happily ever afters, think again. This one's a raw look at beauty standards, family pressure, and survival in a patriarchal world. Lee Myron plays Elvira, the ugly stepsister whose desperation to be loved and accepted leads her down a twisted path of body horror and heartbreak. Think of her as a tragic heroine caught between self-loathing and societal pressure. And Dahl Torp as Rebecca, the pragmatic, cold mother who pushes her daughter into a brutal beauty game to climb the social ranks. Equal parts villain and product of her world. Thea Sophie Lockness is Agnes, the Cinderella of the story, with the natural charm and beauty, and a complex figure who's not your typical pure-hearted heroine. Shades of gray all around. Flo Fergurley as Alma, the youngest sister, wise beyond her years and quietly rebelling against the toxic cycle she's been born into. Isaac Kalmroth as Prince Julian, the shallow royal prize everyone's vying for. This is written and directed by Emily Blechfeld, who originally developed this in film school, starting from a wildly surreal concept involving a talking vulva. Yeah, you heard that right. Before evolving into this raw body horror fairy tale mashup. She draws major inspiration from Cronenberg's Crash, Italian horror maestros like Argento, and the movie Raw. So if you're a body horror fan, you're in for a treat. So, the title, The Ugly Stepsister, is the actress that they got to play the lead role ugly? No. You could probably go with maybe Hollywood ugly, but I think they did a great job with the makeup to make her as unattractive as possible. If you know anything about the original Cinderella or a lot of these fairy tales that are considered Disney classics, there is a lot of horror in it. They show in the trailer where she has to cut her toes off to fit in a slipper. That is in the original story. That is body horror in a fairy tale. And of course, with a fairy tale, there are beauty standards. So, you're thinking maybe the substance had to do with beauty standards and the lengths we go, or, women have to go to look acceptable to the male gaze. And this is sort of like that, except for it's probably more realistic and almost medieval in the way that they try to improve her looks, like breaking the bridge of her nose. And I don't have a problem with seeing needles and everything, but this was almost hard to watch with her getting eyelashes sewn to her eyelids. And there's no black and white morality here. Agnes, or Cinderella, is not this sweet girl. She is complex. She's kind of mean sometimes. She can be a little bit of a mean girl, but she's also going through a lot of shit. And the same thing with Elvira. You sympathize with her. She is the main character. But then she does some shitty things, and there are definitely complex characters and lots of shades of gray here. It's not the binary good versus evil like in a fairy tale. They're both in a situation and in a world with no fault of their own. Or like swallowing the egg of a tapeworm and then it growing inside of her. And it's always growling, like her stomach is always growling. I love the little subtle body horror nods like that. It's there, you know it's there, it's not showing you, and it's pretty disturbing. And the cinematography and the music are on point. It's almost techno in a way, some of the music, but it fits the movie even though it goes with the style of this film. It's very kinetic. And through all the horror and the tension and just the cringiness throughout the whole movie, it kind of ends on a poignant and emotional and sweet ending in a way. I mean, it's disturbing as fuck, but it's not completely nihilistic. There is a bit of humanity in this movie, but I can definitely see how this movie isn't for everyone. If you want a straightforward fairy tale or a romantic Cinderella, you're probably going to have to look elsewhere. And you know, some viewers might find the body horror elements a little too subtle or slow burning, or maybe wish for a sharper payoff on some of the secondary characters. But I was engaged the entire time and I loved where it ended up. So overall, I'm going to give The Ugly Stepsister a 4.5 out of 5. I really love this movie. And it's one of my biggest surprises of 2025. It's a brutally honest and nuanced look at beauty, family, and survival that manages to be both horrific and heartfelt. If you like your fairy tales with realism and some body horror vibes, this is a must-watch. If you like this dive into a twisted fairy tale, smash that like button to appease the algorithm gods. They love when you do that. Don't forget to hit subscribe for more cult hits and atomic flicks. Hit that playlist below to binge some movie reviews and dig beneath the surface of your favorite movies. Let's talk in the comments. What's your favorite twisted fairy tale retelling? Or did this one freak you out? Drop your thoughts below and I'll see you later. Bye.